Welcome to Dobby Repairs. I'm Dobby the Fixing Elf, and this is what's in my toolbox, the series where I show you the tools I use to repair cars and fix things. So let's find out what's in my toolbox today. And in this installment, we have this Huepar Tools HG01, and this is a very nice, let me just quickly zoom back out, heat gun. It's designed to be stood up this way. Very nice, you've got a supportive feet at the bottom so you can stand it, so if you're trying to use bench stuff, let me just quickly adjust the camera slightly. This way you can stand it on your workbench or on the floor when you're trying to do certain jobs. You can also use it in your hand like so, and it's fairly comfortable. And it comes with this lovely 5-foot lead, lovely bright this end. It does come with a European plug, I should mention that. You just have to get an adapter and it works fine. It's rated for UK voltage. And yeah, this lovely, really nice, flexible cable that comes with it is just over 5 foot long. Quite difficult to measure, but it also comes with this lovely little feature where you can remove this if you need to for storing it away. If we're going to get it out on camera. There we go. There's a little release there, but all you do is pop it in. I'm going to plug this in quickly and show you the controls. So let me quickly plug this in. And so it plugs it in now. Let me adjust the camera again so you can see. And yeah, it's got very simple controls. Got your on button, your fan button, and your temperature adjustment. Now this can do temperatures from 50 Celsius all the way up to 660. So you have to do conversions for that and Fahrenheit. I won't turn it on just yet, because it's going to be quite noisy and the microphone's going to pick it up. So it does come with a few accessories. So let me grab the first one, which I seem to have dropped on the floor. No, I haven't. No, we are. So it comes with this lovely little accessory, and it goes with these little scraper heads. So you get a few different shapes of scraper, and it's fairly simple to put these on. So all you have to do is unscrew this end, unscrew this nut, so to say, and then you pop it on, turn the nut back down, and then you get yourself a triangle shaped scraper. Perfect for if you want to take paint off and stuff like that. Not something I normally use this for, but you can. And you go into a couple of different shapes. You've got a teardrop one, which is quite nice, and also I'm not quite sure what shape it is. I'm guessing it's going to be a square and then some profiles. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what shape that is. Also comes with a little putty knife. Pretty standard, these things. Fairly robust. Comes with it, so you know, not too bad at all. And we also have some different nozzles with it. So we have this lovely little tower nozzle for directing the heat into smaller, tighter spaces. Not terrible. Then we have this reflector nozzle, which we will be using in just a moment. I'll show you how to put these on the tool. We also have this lovely other nozzle, which is just a wide open mouth nozzle. And we've got another little reflector nozzle and another one here. So just to help you reflect it, so if you're trying to like defrost pipes, you can use these, or if you're trying to do heat shrink, which we are going to be doing in just a moment. A little demonstration, but yeah, so we have these. And yeah, different ones. So let me show you how you pop these on the tool. Let me just pop these out of the way so they're not in the way. And we'll slide it up here. And just simply pop it on. What you do is you set it on the end here. Make sure you get the right angle. And you just pop it on the end here like so. That's on there fairly securely. Certain ones do fit better than others. That one goes on there like that. Let me show you a couple of the other ones. For instance, this one here, fairly straightforward. Just goes on. It's held on there fairly well. I mean, you're not going to really be shaking your heat gun around too much. And the power one goes on really nicely and holds on there, so you can't see that on the camera. The tower one just slides on really nicely. And we'll put this one back on for now, because that's the one we're going to be using in a moment. So we'll stand this up like this, turn it on like so. Hopefully it isn't too loud. So I'm going to turn the blower down. But remember to So I've just muted the original audio here, and I've also put this footage up just so it does its cool down process, because I want you to talk to you about something else. So I'll just let it finish cooling down when this speeds through. It takes a couple of minutes to cool down normally, so not too long depending on how hot it was when you turn it off. I'll explain more about the cool down cycle in just a moment. And yeah, I will probably speed that bit up, but it remembers the last temperature that you had it set on, so it will go to that automatically when you turn it on. It also, when you turn it off, it automatically cools it back down to 50 C, so it can take, depending on how hot you had it, it may take a little while to do that. Just bear that in mind. You don't want to unplug it until after it's done the cooling cycle, because the biggest problem with any tool that heats up is you don't let it cool down properly before you pack it away. It either mounts the cases in or damages itself internally. So a good tip to remember, let the tool cool down before you pack it away, and you'll make your tool last longer. And I'm going to turn this back on now. I may talk over this post filming, so if my voice changes slightly when we come back, you know why. So I'm going to turn it on now. So yeah, just warming up now, as you can see. So it's on. Obviously it is quite noisy and it's definitely hard. As you can see, I'm just turning the temperature down. So it's down to 160 and it cools down fairly quickly, and it will also warm up fairly quickly. So again, slightly lower. And then if you want to go up, it's easy enough done. Sorry about the bad camera angle here. I did try my best to get a decent camera angle for you guys. There we are. And what I'm going to show you now is how I make a brake caliper hanger. So this is what I normally do. I get these cheap metal S-hooks that you're about to see in just a moment. So here it is. And I put a bit of heat shrink on it. Usually I don't do this on camera. It's a lot easier when you don't do it on camera. I also recommend wearing gloves when you do this because it does get very hot. But this is set on about 220 I believe now. And yeah, we're going to warm it up. I might just quickly up the temperature. Maybe it's not as high as I thought it was. So you can't actually see what temperature I'm setting it to. But yeah, just warm up, and I'm using this lovely adapter that comes with it as I showed you earlier. And yeah, just warm it up, warm up the heat shrink. You know, you normally use for about 4 pieces, and it just helps protect stuff when you're thing, and it just makes it look nice as well. I do explain why I have to keep making these in future videos, but it's a nice cheap way of making brake caliper holders. And I'm going to slide the second piece over. Again, gloves are quite helpful here, and trying not to slide the heat shrink over an already hot piece definitely helps. So there's the second piece going on. And yeah, I just thought this would be a nice demonstration for you guys, and I needed to make another brake caliper holder before I do my next brake job. So definitely well worth doing. And there we are, that's all nice and warmed up now. And usually I'd use a bit bigger heat shrink, but this is what I had at to hand, so just bear that in mind. I could do the other end now. Again, it warmed up fairly nicely and it's consistent, which is very good. There we go, and that bit's on now. I won't bore you with any more of this, but that's basically the premise of making a brake caliper holder. Obviously it does heat shrink really well, which is really nice. It also does the plastic nylon piping. I mentioned that a bit later in the video, but they're trying to switch this piece over, but it's a bit too hot, so we'll leave that for now. And here I'm just showing you the controls. So there's the on button and the off button. There's your fan controls. So you press it and it just cycles through. The higher it gets, the louder it gets. So bear that in mind. And yeah, they've got the up and down controls on here too. I'm just going to pop it all the way up to 660, which is how high it goes. Which is fairly hot. So obviously be careful when you're doing that. And yeah, you can turn it down as well. Obviously the hotter it gets, the longer it will take to cool down, as I said earlier. I've just let the heat gun down on its side to get it better in the shot. I've let it cool down for the process that I showed you earlier. And yeah, this is the lovely hook we have that I've made for hanging brake calipers. Basically put some heat shrink tubing on here just to help protect the caliper, especially if I'm putting it through like where the threads are on the caliper. This just helps stop you marring up the threads and damaging them, you know, if you're a threaded caliper. Some of them are, some of them aren't, it depends on the car, but this just helps keep everything safe. And the reason why I'm making another one of these really is because I keep losing them. I make them, hang them on the cars, and then I put them down and forget to pick them back up, and then just disappear. But they're fairly handy little S-hooks and quickly made into a lovely brake caliper holder. But anyway, that's a completely different subject now. Moving back onto the heat gun and giving you my final thoughts. It's a really nice heat gun. Obviously a few down points are the fact that it doesn't come with an UK plug for me. Obviously, if you live in a European area, you can just use it straight away. But here in the UK, I had to buy an adapter, so a bit of extra expense. And this is a really nice little heat gun. I like the temperature controls on it. It's really nice. Obviously, it's very loud, so some of this will have been voiced over afterwards. You probably noticed. Yeah, got a nice little settings, adjustable really quickly. I like the fact there's a memory feature on it, so if you're doing a lot of certain things, like you're working at 200C to do heat shrink, or you're working at higher temperatures to do different things, definitely well worth having. All the adapters are quite useful on these as well. They come with a nice variety, more than you're ever going to need. For the type of heat gun it is, it's fairly compact, so if you're doing wiring looms in cars, it might be a bit too big for that, but for like more, like listening at the bottom of the engine, stuff in the top, like if you're doing a bit of wiring to an auxiliary wire or something, you want to just quickly heat shrink it down so it's nice and secure. You can definitely do that with this. Overall, it's fairly comfortable, it's fairly lightweight as well, which is quite nice, and it doesn't feel too cumbersome to hold in the hand like this. It is designed, as I said earlier, to be used like this, which definitely is the best way of using it for like heat shrink if you're doing stuff outside of the car. Also useful for heating up bolts, especially with the where is it gone? This little adapter. Get this in there, especially if you're heating up like, you just want to heat up like the threaded parts that go through certain parts, like pipes and that, you just want to warm it up. Definitely really useful for that. And you can heat up bolts. It's obviously not as quick and effective as using like the Mac torch that I've shown you guys in the past. But it's definitely helpful and it's more controlled, especially if you don't want the risk of flames near like fuel or something. Obviously be careful because it will still self-ignite off the heat of this, but if you're using it for like securing fuel lines, like remaking fuel lines, I know a lot of people, when they push in the new connectors, they use heat to soften the pipe, if you know what I mean. I'm talking about that hard nylon piping, in case you don't know what I'm on about. But I'm going to give this a 4 spanner rating. It's a really handy little heat gun, and you can do a variety of different uses. Great for if you've got a dent in your plastic bumper, you can warm it up and just pop it back out, which is quite nice, and get the dent out at least. You may need to paint it again, but it definitely helps with that. Just be careful when you're heating plastic, because it does get quite hot. You don't want to be overly hot, and you don't want to mount your bumper and put a massive hole in it. But yeah, for heating bumpers up to get dents out, really good. And they're pretty effective with a lot of different things, so definitely well worth its 4 spanner rating. And a huge thank you to my Fixing Club members, Mako, Rodney, Jason, Sebi and Mr. R. Thank you all for your support, it really helps me and the channel out. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, don't forget to hit that like button, it really helps both the channel and me out. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I post 2 videos a week, so by subscribing you'll never miss a thing. Got any questions or suggestions? Drop a comment down below, and I'll do my best to reply to everyone. Here at Dobby Repairs, we're all about helping you learn how to work on your vehicle safely and showing you don't need to spend a fortune on tools to get the job done. Want to support the channel further? Become a member, starting at just 99p. Members get perks like early access to videos and more exclusive content. Keep fixing, and I'll see you in the next one.